It's not even tired. It's just like oxygen leaving my brain, I guess.
I feel you, man. All right, welcome everybody to the Bartender's Jukebox podcast. And by the way, Rob just said about the oxygen leaving his brain, so he's had a long day of training today. So, how are the students, by the way, brother?
They're doing good, man. Two of my boys did so great last night. Well, they all did great, but
Yeah.
two of them stole the show last night, and I was so proud of them because I was like thinking um that they were going to get outshined by two older guys on the show, but my two young boys turned it up and they kicked some ass. Jimenez and Zeno, they tore it up, man. They did really good. I was so proud of them last night. I'm proud
Right
of them
on.
all, but I'm proud of them all, but I was extra proud.
Are they both champions right now?
Um, no, Jimenez just beat Zeno, so
For the
Jimenez is
title.
double champion. He just won the Primus title last night, and he's also the traditional champ. So yeah,
Right on, man. That is excellent to hear. I've watched both those guys and how they evolved, and they're doing amazing. You know,
they are, man. They're doing good.
I gotta say, man, you do a good job at what you do. So
Thank you. It's not just me though. Aaron, Aaron, Truth, as he's known to everyone else. He's Aaron. Aaron really steps up and he does a great job, man. So Aaron has a lot of input on these young guys, and I'm proud of all of them, man. They just bust their ass every week. So
that is absolutely amazing, man. All
yeah,
right,
man.
so recently, me and you have talked. Um, I know my parents getting older. My dad just passed away back in April, and I'm dealing with my recent health issues with my mom. It's just old age
Right.
factors and stuff like that. And you have the moments of, they forget who you are, or you see them misplacing things, or just little things like that that are not normal for their everyday routine. You said to me, it's sad to see them lose their dignity. It is. It is
Absolutely.
very much. How
Yeah.
And this is where we're gonna open it up, man. What are some good ways, like between collectively, me and you can think of to help any other? It doesn't matter if even if they're male or female going through this. It's just tough as a guy because you see your proud dad that went to work, bust his ass. Some people didn't see their dad. You see your mom that worked her ass off to take care of you and do everything she could to put food on the table, or
Yeah.
however it worked out. But you got those hardworking parents out there that us as children, I think in some way give the respect to take care of them. You
So
know,
so my thing is I had a mom. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like that was it. So when basically I felt like when she passed, mom and dad both died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And so I had a conversation with my mom one day, and she was like, "I hate the fact that you have to always come up here and take care of me."
Mhm.
And I said, "It's not that I have to. It's what I owe you. You took care of me all my life, and it's my turn to return the favor and you know take
Mhm.
care of you now." So that's what we did, me and my brothers. And it's hard on them because they're losing their strength, they're losing their minds, they're losing hope, they're losing their dignity, which is fucking awful to see, because you can see it in their eyes how sad they are and how depressed they get because they're not their old self and they know that their time is coming, and it's awful. It's just an awful thing. But us as kids should always want to take care of those who took care of us.
Mhm.
I'm glad I was raised that way. So, you know,
Most definitely. Me too, man. Me too. Um, so During these times, because like I said, you've lost your mother and father. I just lost my father.
Yeah.
During those moments of pain and sadness that you were going through because you felt that emotion, what did you do to help that person, to help yourself along through it? Your mom and
So,
yourself.
so again, I really didn't know my sperm donor,
Yeah.
but I knew my mom, and a part of us. I feel like when we're taking care of somebody, we think that the outcome is going to be different because we're taking care of them. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, I didn't. When my mom was sick, I cried. Like to myself. I didn't let nobody know.
Yeah.
Because they told us she was terminal, and of course that shit bugged me. So I was sad, but I didn't let nobody know. So I was being strong for my brothers and being strong for my mom's friends. So um, the day of the funeral, once we buried her, I didn't want to leave the cemetery because that was fucking the last time I was going to see my mom. It's kind of weird that we're talking about this because Friday was 18 years that my mom has passed away.
Oh wow, man.
So, so it's pretty crazy. And tomorrow will be 3 years since my brother has passed. So it's a crazy. The weekend has been crazy, man. It's been up and down, up and down, up and down.
It's amazing how things kind of line up, you know.
Yeah, it is. It's so crazy. And
But isn't that life though? If it wouldn't be that way, like,
yeah, it's a roller coaster, man. So a friend of mine, um, I, I didn't watch, but I heard. Like I would talk to her, and I would talk to her grandma, and her grandfather had dementia,
mhm,
and or you know, Alzheimer's, whichever one he had. It He just lost his memory. He lost.
mhm,
He never fought with his wife. He never cursed around his wife, and he became. And through the conversations I had with her grandma and her, um, it was sad. Because he went from a guy who loved this woman for, jeez, I forget how many years they said, a very long time, like 70 years. These guys were married, like they were only with each other for their entire life. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
And to listen to my friend's pain and to listen to her grandma's sadness about a man who she loved and she took care of, and the way he just faded away, man, was horrible. Like I would talk to him every once in a while. They would put me on the phone with him to try to see if he could talk.
mhm,
And like a day or two before he passed away, I was the last person he spoke to. Like he went outside and it was a sunny day, and he actually said a couple words to me. You know what I mean? Like he stopped talking completely and then he said a couple words to me. And my friend was so excited. She was like, "He really talked to you. It's cool." And we were so excited. Graham was. I called her Graham too. She wasn't my grandma, but I called her Graham anyway because she was such a cool ass woman. You know, and it's so. I respected this woman that I only knew from phone calls, and I met her once. You know what I mean? But I
mhm.
respected her because she had such love for a man who basically forgot she even existed. And she loved this man until the day she passed away. And it's just crazy, dude, to see how horrible of a disease that is, that you can remember somebody one day and then totally forget them the next. It has to be heartbreaking. Like, I didn't want my mom to die from cancer, but to be honest with you, I would rather that than anything that you're going through or anything that my friend Dawn went through, because that's more rough, man, because you're seeing somebody who you love and you can't help, and they're just not going to remember you, and it's just a fucking sad thing, man. It's like these are the things that you question and think,
Yes.
man, and then you get mad, and if if you're a believer, you question God. You know what I'm saying? You question like why, and it's just
You feel sometimes like, because you always hear about religion, how you put faith in it and faith in it, but if you're always putting faith in it and it's not being
yeah,
reciprocated, like where do you, like, you feel at a complete loss. You feel like
yeah.
there's nothing there.
And then you question everything. You question
Yep.
like, is it really real? Like is God real? Is heaven real? If is this if is anything real? Because it's just like you feel, it's because we know we're having a loss, and we want to blame everything for our loss, and when we're hurting, I guess, and it's like, I don't know. It's a strange thing, man. Like when you told me when we talked, can I talk about our text? You cool with that?
About my mom's health, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. When you text me and said, for the first time, my mom didn't know who I was,
Hmm.
that broke my fucking heart, dude. I had tears
Yeah,
in my eyes, and I'm like, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't fucking imagine. I just wanted to hug you, bro, because it's God. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine it. I couldn't imagine the thought of somebody forgetting who I was. It just drives me crazy, you know?
100%, man. It eats away at you, but then at some point, I think for me, and I think the biggest thing, if I'm searching through all this and what I've been going through, the biggest thing I think that would help me the most, so you look at it in hindsight and today, is acceptance.
Yeah.
It's just accepted for what it is.
Oh, you have no choice,
Yeah, but
you know?
I think if you jump ahead and realize that, like, it's gonna be that way and just accept it. y-
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
it's
know
it,
how to
it, it
explain it
it's
better.
so what you're saying is like this is I know exactly how you're feeling because you're saying acceptance like what's coming.
Yes.
Sort of like how I felt and my friend Dawn felt when her grandma and grandpa passed away, and when my mom passed away. When they leave, you feel a sigh of relief, but yet you feel
Yes.
guilty as fuck.
Yes.
So yeah, so I understand where you're at, and it's like you're to me. I feel like with what you're going through, you're reliving it every day until the day it
Mhm.
happens, and I feel like that's worse, and that's
Oh yeah.
just that's a tough one for you, and I hope that you're taking the right steps, and well, you talk to me, so you're doing all right. We're boys, so
Yeah, man. I think what it boils down to is acceptance.
yeah,
If you accept it's going to be that way, and there ain't nothing you can do to change it, because that's the mother nature. That's just the laws
yeah,
of the way it goes. I
yeah,
think if you just accept it, you kind of give yourself a jump start to it,
yeah,
but not to the point where you're overthinking it. Like, oh my god, it's going to be tomorrow. You just have
yeah,
to all around accept it.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, you have to accept it. Yeah, I mean, you have no choice but to accept it,
Yeah.
and but when the day comes, we're all gonna be here for you and lean for you to lean on, man. No matter how much you accept it,
Yeah.
the
I
last
always say
acceptance is going to be the hardest.
you're my boy, Blue. You're my boy. Yes. The last one is always the hardest, no matter what.
Absolutely,
You know.
absolutely.
All right. So now here's the second one, and this might go. It's probably going to go deep for you. I know it's going to go deep for me. I'll go first, so that way you can prepare yourself.
Okay.
All right. So about 3 years ago, My brother Jamie took his life from PTSD from the military.
Yes.
And this is going to be very brutal, very honest to everybody. He ended up hanging himself. And that is just one of those things that, I have to accept. And I look back and I regretted a lot of things. I always felt like, what could I have done? What should I have done? In those moments. And
Yeah.
instead of like, how can I put this? I feel this guilt because I felt like there was nothing I could do. Or not like nothing I could do, but like I feel like I should have done more. Let me rephrase that. Bear with me, guys. I herbally medicated tonight a little bit, so if I go outside, just bear with me. Uh, but that's that being real about all the situations. So, yeah, when it came to him, like there's certain things that trigger me, that take me back to those moments. Unfortunately, that is the hand either God dealt or whatever being dealt above. I'll leave it at that. Then it boils back down to acceptance. It took me, like I said, going on 3 years to accept that it happened and accept the
Yeah.
fact I couldn't do anything. Um, but also at the same time, it never leaves me. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I definitely understand that 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Like I said,
and
man, me and you
it's
were gonna go deep today, so
yeah, 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 and it's I think it's like was your brother younger or
then me,
older? Yeah.
he was about a year older than me.
Okay. Yeah. See, I feel you. Like I've had friends who committed suicide as well.
Hmm.
And I had a buddy who I talked to 2 days before he did it. Had no clue. Like
Yep.
he was happy. He was like excited to be clean. He was excited to be, he was starting a new life. He was starting a new journey,
Hmm.
and he was excited and happy. And then 2 days later, I get a call that he killed himself, and I'm like, you got to be shitting me. I just spoke to him. And it's like we do question, like, why couldn't we do this? Why couldn't we do that? Why couldn't we?
Yes.
Because that's just the way we're wired, man. Because just like my niece my niece told me this, and my wife, my friends, they always tell me, you're not Superman, you can't save everyone. And it's like we're built that way. That's how we're wired. We were raised to protect people. We were raised to protect our family, but it also means that we can protect others too. We're
Exactly.
supposed to. And when somebody commits suicide that we're either family with, or my one cousin also committed suicide. um but we always question why wasn't I there, or why couldn't I stop it, or this or that. But
Yeah.
the harsh reality is, if that person really truly wants to do it, whether we stop them today or whether we stop them tomorrow, if
Tomorrow.
that's their plan, they're going to execute their plan, if nobody helps them, or if they don't get help, man. And
Mhm.
it's really sad. It's a horrible thing to think of, but that's sad, bro. It's so
I
sad.
know. I know, but see, here's the thing, though. Like, it comes back to that word, acceptance.
Yeah, yeah, yep, yep,
Yeah, like, all that guilt, all that sorrow, that anger, the regret, all of it.
yeah.
You can't do anything about it. It's literally
No,
comes down to acceptance.
yeah, acceptance. It's true. Like, and it's crazy because um, earlier when I was pissing, you see my shirt. I happened to wear my brother's shirt, the first memorial shirt we made for him, and so I was pissing earlier. Sorry to say that, but that's where the thought came to my mind, and I'm like, a part of me was like, because some of his friends asked, did he commit suicide, or did he do this, or did he do that? You know, and
Hmm.
so all these thoughts went through my brain when my brother passed. Like, he lived 2 minutes away from me, and when Ches passed away, he called me earlier in the day, and he would always get panic attacks when he had to go to the eye doctor. So I would talk him out of the panic attack, and some panic attacks feel like, they have the same, like, tightness in your chest, and your heart feels like it's gonna, you know what I mean? So panic attacks are really scary. And so I
Hmm.
talked him out of it, and a part of me feels like, why did you tell him to go to the hospital? Why didn't you tell him to go to the hospital? Because, at the end of the day, he had a massive heart attack and died.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have said go to the hospital instead of talking him out of a panic attack, because maybe he was having a heart attack then until
Yeah.
he passed away. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
that's where acceptance comes in too. You have to accept that, you know, 3 years ago tomorrow was supposed to be his last day, and it's tough for us to accept things because, one, we're men, we're bullheaded, we're stubborn,
Yes. Yes.
and so there are a lot of things that we need to accept, and you know and we need to accept that not being okay is fucking okay.
Yes. Exactly.
So,
Exactly,
and,
man.
and it's okay to be fucked up, it's okay to be, you know sad, and angry, and it's okay.
Hmm.
You know um we were at the school the other day. I think we were at the school, and oh yeah, we were at the school, and one of my students said to the little boy that was there, he started crying. He goes, "You're a boy. You don't cry." And I was like, "Nah, man, that's old school thinking. Like, that's like 1950s thinking." Said he's allowed to show his emotions, man. I
Yes.
said that's what the problem was. We were always taught, you're a man, don't cry. You're a growing boy, don't cry. Oh,
Yes.
you fell, get the hell up, don't be a
Yeah,
pussy.
don't be a pussy. Exactly.
So we were taught how to be the tough guys, and we were taught to be tougher than women. No, not separating, but that's how we
Yeah,
grew up with
that was our generation.
yeah, that was our generation. And it's like, but now, this is the best thing about the new generation, because a lot of them want us to care about each other. And you know if it wasn't for me arguing with my daughter on my van, when, because she's my aide and everything, but sometimes we get into arguments about, their generation. But this is
Yes.
probably the best thing about their generation, is they actually care about everyone's feelings. And learning that from her is what made me want to come out and speak about being fucked up, is because, like, if my boy Jack would have told me, or you know what I'm saying, or if my cousin
Yep.
would have said something to me, or anything that says, yo, I can relate because I'm just as fucked up as you are. So let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation instead of you, taking your life, and it's like, maybe we
Exactly.
could have helped, maybe we couldn't, it's just, you know,
I agree wholeheartedly, brother. Wholeheartedly.
yeah.
All right. So,
It's so weird how your brother and my brother, it's like so weird, the closeness and the time
yep.
of their, it's insane.
All right. So I got to always put this out there. Um, this is the suicide crisis hotline. If anybody ever needs help, you ever have any bad thoughts or anything like that, it's so simple to use. Text 988 or call 988. It, trust me. It's better. It's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. But it's
Absolutely.
always
I
worth it.
lost you there for a second. I was getting a phone call. Sorry about that.
Oh, I was talking about the
Yeah.
suicide
Yeah.
hotline.
You could.
Uh,
Yeah. I knew what you were talking about. I called it, but it was like for a second. So,
uh,
but yeah, the suicide hot. That's a good number. Um, and if you don't want to talk to a complete stranger, hit up one of your friends, man. Hit up one of your
yeah.
friends because you know your true friends are going to be there for you. Your real friends are going to answer that phone call. They're gonna wait up for you to text them back. They're gonna, you know what I mean. So
Yep.
nobody is alone in this journey, man. Like you have people out there to listen to you. You have people to talk to, and it's like I know when we're sad or when we're upset or when we're angry and we feel like we have nowhere to turn or no one to talk to. It's tough to call somebody and burden them with your issues.
Yeah.
It's
Shit, I got a
tough to
bad
call
echo back
somebody
here.
and
There we go. Sorry.
burden them with
Oh
what
Jesus.
happened.
I got the video uploading on me up here.
We're sad or we're upset
There
or
we
we're
go.
angry and we feel like we have
Bear with me.
them,
All right, there we go. No echo.
them herbs are really tripping on you, aren't they?
Man,
um
that was a good batch of tea I made. That's all I'll say.
I was just saying, what I was saying was that, don't think that there's nobody that you can talk to because somebody's always willing to listen.
Yeah.
Basically, like you got friends, everybody out there has somebody who they can rely on to listen, and they'll listen and not judge, so
Mhm.
call somebody or talk
Even
to
if you think
somebody.
you are, because that's one thing I come to realize too. Dealing with anxiety and panic and depression, it's always worried about feeling like you're going to burden others, or
Always.
it's a self-image that you have that you don't even realize that you have
Yeah.
because you don't want somebody, and you just got to do it and realize that they're not going to judge you. I mean, there'll be occasional handful, but they're just assholes. Let's be real.
Yeah. The people who judge, they're the ones who want to get the final judgment.
Yeah, it's
And
fundamental.
it's like,
Fundamental.
yeah. So the other week, well, maybe it was like 2 weeks ago or something like that. I think I was just having like a side effect from my meds that I've been taking, but I was meeting my son and his wife and Bentley, my grandson, for dinner, and our friends Tyson and Vanessa were coming with, and so we get to the restaurant. My wife and daughter and her friend were there too, and we get to the restaurant. And before I got to the restaurant, like when I was leaving my house, I started feeling anxious and I started feeling like paranoid, and it was just crazy. Like the feeling I had was like I was a crackhead and I had that type of paranoia, and
Mhm.
I get there and I say to Tyson, I'm like, dude, I'm fucked up right now. I'm so paranoid. I was looking over my shoulder. I was like looking at everybody. And he's like, man, are you all right? I said, no, I'm not, dude. I'm fucked up right now. I'm like really, and it wasn't like I was high. It was just I was just paranoid and it was
Yeah.
just it had to be. It was a side effect, and it just fucked me up while we were at dinner. And then I started calming down, of course, but just it was scary. I was like, man, am I having a panic attack, or you know what I mean? Because that's what it felt like
Mhm.
it was going to turn into. But no. Funny thing is, I'm calling him Tyson by his real name.
So,
That's the funny part.
all right, during this paranoid feeling, did you feel claustrophobic in a sense?
Oh, dude, it felt like everything was closing in on me. It was
It,
like, yeah,
even
and
even
and
being
and
outdoors.
oh no, no, we when we went to the restaurant, and
Oh,
then
restaurant, yeah.
yeah, and so Haley's friend was trying to sit with her back against the wall, and I was like, absolutely not. You got to move. So I had to sit with my back against the wall where I could see everybody, dude. It was insane. When I tell you it was crazy, it was so crazy. But I pulled it together and made it through it. But yeah,
Shit, man. Yeah, I've had that once or twice. The first time figured out that I had anxiety and panic attacks, I literally woke up, got a glass of water, and I felt like I was having a heart attack. Clenched chest, all that stuff. I waited a little bit, it went away, but then I was like, you know what? Let me go to the hospital and get it checked because it really felt like a heart attack, like pain through the arms, all that shit.
right?
Perfectly fine. Perfectly
Yeah.
fine. Fucked me with a
It,
fucking $2,000 bill.
it's crazy how our minds work. It's
Yeah.
so crazy, you know.
That's,
Be
you
you,
know,
you know
I think that was
what
my
was that?
first learning lesson. I think that was my first learning lesson though. After the $2,000 bill for going into the hospital to have them hook me up for everything, say I'm fine, and it was just a panic attack. I was like,
Yeah,
"Are you kidding me?"
but you know
I
what
did
though?
the right thing. I did the
Yeah,
right
yeah,
thing.
you absolutely did the right thing. But you know what I mean? Because like, what if it was the other thing? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel you. I feel you on that. it,
By the way,
the
Mark,
mind is a crazy
Hey,
thing, man.
Jeff. What's up, guys? Yes, the mind is a
What's
crazy thing. I
what's
was
up,
saying,
everyone? How are you?
what's up to everybody? Oh man, yeah, the mind is a crazy thing. That is for damn sure.
I don't know if you remember the commercials. The mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Oh my god, I still remember the crack in the egg on the frying pan. This is
Yeah,
your
me
brain.
too.
This is your brain on drugs.
Yeah,
I
I
was,
see every once in a while. I'll see a meme that goes, "If you don't understand that this isn't an egg, you never
yeah,
lived."
yeah. Like
Yeah,
I could still hear the same voice doing it too.
I can I can close my eyes and see the guy
Yes.
doing it. I can see the frying pan. I can see the stove. You name it, I can see it.
That was that. Yeah. Oh man, taking it back there.
Yeah,
Ah,
and he really was like a tough guy, thinking he was a tough guy. Okay,
yeah.
let's get this straight. This your brain. This your brain on drugs.
Brain on drugs.
Any questions?
Smokey the Bear. Smokey the Bear was the other good one too. I don't know how many
Yeah,
times I've seen those fucking commercials when I was a kid. Let's scruff
only
McGruff.
you
Remember
can
that?
prevent forest fire. Yeah, yeah, McGruff. Yeah, he was take a bite out of crime.
Right. Yep. I
Yeah,
think right
crazy.
wasn't it right around the '80s where like all the crime watches started popping up in like suburban neighborhoods and shit.
Yeah. The little thief with
Yep.
stickers and yeah.
Oh man.
Crime watches.
Yep. I've
So
seen a
funny.
picture. I've seen a picture. It was a neon orange picture of a firefighter, and you slapped it on your door, and I let him know if there was kids in there. Do you
Yep.
remember that at all?
Yes, they would place the sticker in the at the window where the child was. Yes.
Yep.
Yep. I remember those too. What about uh the yuck stickers, the poison control stickers?
Oh yes.
Yeah, that shit was funny too, man.
Oh man.
Makes you wonder why people do the things they do, like how we have to put a warning on everything now. Like,
Uh,
do not drink gas because it'll fuck you up.
Tide Pod challenge. Like
Yeah,
Tide Pods. It's fucking
yeah.
laundry detergent.
How about if I slap you in the fucking next week challenge? How about that? Like, yeah, who would even know? No, it's just dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would rather see kids drink like fucked up sodas or food or something like that. But Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Yeah.
I'm still
Like
gonna
a
send you
food
some stuff.
challenge.
I'm still gonna send you some stuff, man. You're gonna try some fucking fucked up shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Shane, my son Shane and his wife have been doing these little food challenge videos, and he asked me to come over the other day, but it was, of course, Friday, a day I had to train, and
Mm.
they were eating like Mexican candy and drinks from Mexico, and I was like, damn it, I would love to try it, but
Hell
you
yeah.
know, I was at school training, so I couldn't. My son seems to forget the days of training, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, and he always wants to do things on the day I'm training. I'm like, what about the days I'm not training? How about
Yeah.
that? Remember
Yeah.
those days, son. And then the best part is we're talking about open up a second school, and he's like, "We'll do it on the days that you don't have training." Then I'm like, "I don't mind, but that's every day. That would be every day of the week."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
So,
man.
but yeah, that's in talks of opening up a second place. So
All right.
we'll see.
Where you
We'll see
where
how
you
it.
looking at? Where
York.
same area? York. All right.
Yeah,
Right
one in
on.
Harrisburg, one in York. So hopefully, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's in the early stages of talk, so we'll see what happens from now till then. So
Yeah.
you know, every time every time I think I'm taking a couple steps away, I get pulled right back in. It's like the
Just
old commercial with the
just
mafia.
reeling it back in.
Yeah, I just keep getting reeled back in. I keep getting pulled back in.
Yeah.
So
So, all right, man. So off topic for a little bit. I got to throw the wrestling stuff in. WWE. What's going on with Punk, Jey Uso, Gunther, all that? What's your take?
well, I've been missing a lot of it because we've been staying later at the school on Mondays and Fridays. Um, I love to hate Gunther. Um, he's
I
like the
absolutely love
ultimate
him.
heel.
I don't even
I
hate him. I
love
just
him.
absolutely love him.
I love it, but I hate it. I hate all the chops. I could deal without all the chops.
Yeah,
Um, but he's such a dick that it's awesome. You know, CM Punk, you can't really hate on the guy because I mean he's awesome, dude. Like he could fucking tell a story like nobody's business, And it's like, yeah, he left. Did he come back? How many other guys left and came back?
exactly.
Look at Hulk Hogan. Look at he turned state's evidence against Vince McMahon and he came back how many times? It's just a lot of people like everything happens for a reason. Like, what
Mhm.
if CM Punk didn't leave? What if Cody didn't leave? And what if they didn't what if Cody and the Bucks didn't have a great idea of forming another company? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, and then WWE would just be still on that coast. They'd still be coasting. They wouldn't be so amped up. And, like the fact that they gave the WWE competition, I think that was the
Exactly.
best thing. I think that was the best thing that happened in wrestling because it's so WWE has they're going out of the country all the time now doing bigger events. I think WWE and AEW for that matter and TNA they're happening spots right now. And it's getting. I think wrestling's at the highest peak that it's ever been. I know it was high before, but man, it's crazy now. And
Yeah,
I
there's so many outlets for it.
yeah, but and I think that if these guys didn't leave WWE and go somewhere
Yeah,
else, I don't think that it would be as popular as it is now. And they made the right move about jumping back to be on the
Mhm.
big ride instead of the smaller ride. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't hate these guys for one wanting the money. You can't hate on that. Like,
No, not at all.
that's what we
That's the name of the
all
game.
that's what yeah that's what we all hope and strive for, is to be the best and do the best and make the most money at it. And you can't hate on Punk. You can't hate on Cody Rhodes. You can't hate on none of them. You know,
Mhm.
um, I mean, I still hate on him. Don't get me wrong. I love Cody, and I think he's a great talent, but he's not his brother. I think
Yeah.
Goldust was a better wrestler.
No, hands down.
Cody is the Bret Hart of this generation. I think, like, he's good, but
I never looked at it from that way, but yeah, yes.
you know, and Seth Rollins. If they didn't shove him down our throat every week, I think he would be my favorite wrestler, because the dude can't be in that ring and not tell a story. He's
Mhm.
so good at what he does, but they shove him down our throat week after week after week after week, that it just gets stale, I
Repetitive.
think. Yeah. Like, I think if they would run like say they would run Raw tomorrow, and they would have a set group of guys that are in feuds, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
Jay Uso and Gunther and Seth Rollins and CM Punk, do an angle that week, and then do another angle with other guys from Raw.
Mhm.
And they do the same thing with SmackDown. Like every other week you would see CM Punk, you would see the other guys. You wouldn't see him every week, every week, every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think people would want to stay tuned more, because they don't know
They
when
want to
it's
see
when they're going to get to see those guys at it.
the art of surprise.
I like that. Yes, the art of surprise, exactly. So,
All right. What is one thing you think is lost in wrestling today that you wish would come back?
um, the element of surprise, the whole, like, I love the internet, but I hate the internet because it's ruined a lot of the surprises. Like, hey, Cody Rhodes got signed to this deal, or everyone's always got to be the first to say what has happened. You know what I mean? Instead of
Mhm.
letting us find out what happened. I think that's what's lost. Like, I loved it, like, back in the day, the UWF, you know. Every week I can remember watching UWF wrestling, and
That was
at
always
the
what,
very
Herb Abrams?
no, not that one, not that
Okay,
one. Oh God,
okay,
no.
okay,
The one that Bill Watts was running, and
okay.
at the end you'd hear Jim Ross every week when she was about to be up here, when, like, you could see it building momentum, and the Freebirds would be doing something to Hacksaw Jim Duggan, or something, and then they'd be like, they'd be kicking ass, and then Hacksaw would be coming back, and somebody would be coming back, and Jim Ross would be like, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of time, we'll see you next weekend. They just shut it down. And then it was like a to be continued, and you had to fucking wait till next week, because you couldn't go on the internet and see what happened. There was no YouTube to see what happened. You had to wait to see
That
what
makes
happened.
sense.
And that was my
Real
favorite
story,
part of it.
making you want more.
Absolutely, that was my favorite part. And I think the fact that the internet is here, and it ruined that part. I think that's the biggest thing it ruined. That's what I think is missing from wrestling. You know, that's my favorite part: surprising people. Doing things that people don't expect. They're not expecting it to happen.
Like using a fake leg.
Yeah. or or going to your doctors and having your doctor mix up a concoction of goo and putting it all over my eye and bandaging my eye up, and then the doctor pulls it off and plays that he never seen something so disgusting.
All right.
Yeah, that type of stuff.
Shock and awe, shock and awe.
Yeah, it's so much fun. So much fun.
All right, man. So
What about
we've
you? What
run.
do you think's missing?
Well, punches, man. I miss real punches. Like the look and feel of real punches. I miss that.
Yeah.
Almost 90% everything is forearm.
Well,
Forearm and elbow. Like I get it, but
I
I
think
miss the
that
art of the real punch.
I think
A
that's
little so cold like Dusty Rhodes. Come on, man.
I think that's in part to Al Snow. You know, who is probably one of the greatest. That's the greatest minds, greatest wrestlers who doesn't get enough credit for his fucking genius.
Hmm.
You know, he said that the punch is the fakest thing in wrestling. You know,
Yeah.
and if you think about it, you know, if I punch somebody 3 times and they didn't fall, I need to kick the shit out of them or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or
But I
hit him
mean,
with something else. I mean,
have it be a purpose though anymore. Like, not even just like doing the repetitive punches. Like, yeah, give a good power punch, like a straight
yeah.
up punch, like a flattener.
I also miss the days of when nobody was allowed to do the same shit in every match. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there was always everyone strived to be different, and they were told to be different. They were made to be different. You
Mhm.
know, now it's like you will see fucking 20,000 forearms. Um you'll see forearms in every match. You'll see super kicks in every match. You'll see
Yeah.
Death Valley drivers in every match. You know, you see the same shit in every match, and then that's the part that gets hokey for me. Like, why wouldn't
It
you want to
loses its
be
feel.
different?
Yeah.
You know, like
It
I
loses its feel.
yeah, like I go to so many indie shows, and it's like nobody nobody does their homework to see what's going on, and then it all is repetitive the whole night long, and then it's like, how are we supposed to cheer for this if we already saw it in 4 other matches? You know, so
Mhm.
yeah,
All right.
I can, I can go on for days about wrestling.
All right. So since we're talking about wrestling and all that, I'm going to tie in traumatic brain injury, steroids, all that stuff. Chris
Okay,
Benoit.
Chris Benoit.
What do you think it was with him? Because he did one of the nastiest moves off the top turnbuckle day in and day
Yeah,
out. How many times was his fucking head rattled?
man, I'm one of those people who would love to think that it wasn't Benoit and it was
Yeah, you think it's
something
Kevin Sullivan.
else.
I already know that.
Yeah. I always say it's Kevin Sullivan, but
Yeah,
for anybody to do some fucked up shit like that is mentally their brain is definitely fucked up, and it's not it's not really far off from what we talk about on a regular basis about mental illness, dude. Like, I
yeah,
mean, I remember last year when we talked how I was having trouble with I could smile and be happy and laugh, and then you know oh, let's go
the
harm our
switch.
family, let's go do something stupid, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I know that it's possible that he did it, and I'm sure, I don't know, that one bugs me because I feel like they closed that case just way too fast, and like
Yeah,
it was just so weird. But I'm not giving him, you know, I'm not giving excuses. I mean,
mm.
he did what he did, and it was awful, but he was
Uh,
one hell of a wrestler.
yeah. I always talk about like when I talk about there's the act itself, but
Yeah.
leading up to it was like there are these factors from it. Like because we already know his brain's been mushed. We
Oh,
already
dude,
know.
dude,
And
it's it's
there's
scary.
painkillers. I mean,
It's
anything's
scary.
possible. Like that's yeah,
Yeah, like and think about it. Back in the day, we weren't putting our hands up for chair shots. We weren't, we were taking them right to the skull. And how many times did he get hit in the head? And what a lot of people don't think of about wrestling they always think of the big moves like him jumping off the top or him jumping from a scaffold or him smacking anybody getting their head smacked or it's always the big things. But what people fail to realize is it's not just the big things. It's the you know from us taking a regular bump to us taking a regular face bump, what I mean, a back bump or a face bump, our brain is still smacking our skull because we're coming to a complete stop.
A rough stop.
And so our brain is still being rattled in there,
Hmm.
so it starts with the first moves, it starts with the first bumps. And then once we amp it up and do start doing the crazy shit and hitting our heads, so our from the time we enter the ring, from the time we take a punch and our head goes back, or a forearm and our head goes back, every time we do something like that, our brain's moving around, like me doing this, our brain's moving. It's just not as hard as it's not as bad as when you're getting socked with a chair and you don't protect yourself, you know.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, like it.
But we all know what we signed up for, and it's like, don't cry for me, because
I brought this up before though,
yeah,
and I think this was months ago, and briefly self harm.
yes,
Okay. So
absolutely,
do you think it's just more of a controlled version for
of
self
self harm,
harm
absolutely,
as an outlet?
absolutely,
And I think that's something that's also like misunderstood too. Like somebody would go, "How could they do that? Why would they do that?" But at the same time, you really don't know until you're going through it.
yeah,
That being
um,
like one of the biggest thing. Like if you hit that dark period, like what would you rather do? Vent it in the wrong way, or have a controlled environment where you can vent it, where
yeah,
just it's just all around controlled.
yeah, exactly. And that's what it is. My nose is itching like crazy. Sorry.
That's kind of bad.
Um, it is a controlled environment where we hurt ourselves. And
Mhm. And so, all right, so it's going to lead me into something else.
oh, that's
Recently,
my damn dog downstairs.
there was an article we had talked about. The guy's name was Charlie.
Yes, I don't I don't know Charlie like that. Um, my daughter has actually spoke to Charlie before this incident happened,
Mm-hmm.
because she's big on the whole helping people with mental illness as well. Um, but I think it's sad because, you know, there are people who, this wrestling business is filled with fucked up people, you know. I'm not saying Charlie's fucked up. I'm talking about the people who in the comments talk shit about this dude,
Mm-hmm.
and we're supposed to be this brotherhood and, oh, you're my brother, we're a family, blah blah blah. Yeah, but if your brother was actually going through some trouble, would you really fucking make fun of your brother like that? Like
Yeah.
Charlie's illness? Nah, man, you wouldn't. So the fact that anybody would, talk shit on Charlie for what's going on is they're fucked up themselves, and
Yeah.
they should check themselves. That's the way I think about it. You know, then again, that goes to what we talked about with people judging other people. Like, you don't know what the fuck that man's going through. Nobody does, except Charlie. And I just think this. I think the wrestling world is filled with so many fake fucking people, man. That they claim to be your boy and they claim to be, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, I love you, man. I love you. And 5 minutes later, when they're in the car talking to their boy that they came with, they're talking shit. It's like,
Mhm.
but this world is filled with fake people, man. And the fact that I see it in wrestling is no different than somebody who does car racing. They see it in car racing. It's just, it's our world that's fucked up. It's not the sport that we're in. It's our world. It's the people that live in this world that are fucked up. And they always judging and doing dumb shit. Like, I feel bad for that Charlie guy. You know, he probably thought, well, I need help, and what other
Mhm.
way to get help is by acting fucking crazy or being crazy. It's like, well, we won't know because we're not in that guy's brain.
Could have
You
been other
know,
factors too. Like, was he already dealing with a mental illness? Could it have been from
yeah,
injuries he was having? Was it after?
absolutely.
Was it after a show where his brains got rattled and that happened?
Yeah, and his brain started feeling fucking stupid, and
Yeah,
he didn't know how to deal with it, or what if he did get help, and what if his medicines counteracted and they fucked him up worse and made him do dumb shit. Like
yeah.
nobody knows. There's so many what ifs. And people are like, oh, he just wanted attention, and that's why guys don't reach out for attention, because you got people that talk shit and be like, oh, he was just wanting attention. No, like, no, motherfuckers don't want attention. We want to feel like everyone else. Like,
Hmm.
we just want to be normal, man. So it's sad. But there's a lot of Charlies out there. you know
Yeah, and it's very unfortunate too. There
yeah.
was this is going back when I lived down in
And the cops don't know anything about that dude. Like, they're just thinking he's some fucking crackhead psycho out there. They're thinking he's probably hyped on drugs or something. You know what I mean? So they don't know his background. So that's what they're trained to know this. So he could be sitting in jail instead of in a mental facility where he's supposed to be. So, and it's like, that's what's fucked up. You know.
100% agree, man. 100%
So
agree.
yeah.
Oh man, me and you have been going for almost an hour here. Holy shit, my man.
That's all right. That's when we start talking, man. That's what we're
Yeah,
supposed to do. We're
that,
supposed to talk, and hopefully us speaking on these things help other people
yeah,
feel better. You know,
most definitely, man. Most
that's,
definitely.
that's all we can do, man. Is just hope and pray, and just hope for the best.
Exactly, exactly.
So,
And like I said throughout earlier in the podcast, it all comes down to one thing: acceptance.
acceptance, bro.
If you can learn that, that is a big key right there. I'm not saying it is the key, but it is a big
Oh,
key.
absolutely. Acceptance is one of the biggest keys to life in
Yeah,
everything that you do.
yeah.
And that's what's wrong with this world. A lot of people don't know how to accept shit.
But it ties into
Especially responsibility.
yep.
So,
Like it comes down to acceptance of the past, acceptance of what the present's going to be, and acceptance of how you shape the future, more or
yep,
less.
your actions.
Yeah.
For sure,
So,
for sure. Absolutely. I agree 100%.
all right. Who do you want to see main event WrestleMania? Doesn't even have to be the big names.
Oh,
Go. No,
all right.
you don't need the main event guys. No.
Well, my favorite WWE wrestler is Dominic Mysterio.
I already knew that one. Yeah.
I think I will say it till it happens. I think in a couple of years he's going to be compared to Eddie, like, with talent instead of just the looks. I think you know. I think he's good, man, and
Mhm.
I think Liv Morgan has stepped up her game, and she's very good, man. I would personally like to see different people in the main event. Like, it feels like it's the same people all the time. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I just feel like
I ain't gonna lie.
I
I'd like to see Chad Gable in it.
that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. I also I know, as whack as this sounds, I'm excited that the Street Profits won the tag titles on SmackDown. I think I don't like their name, but I think that they're a good tag team. I think that they, with the right guidance, they both could be like main event players and not just tag team wrestlers, but they could be like singles wrestlers. I think they could be really good. Um, I like the thing that they're doing with Paul Heyman, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins with Roman Reigns. Um, I don't know. Roman Reigns.
I think it's such a great storytelling. Right? Anything with like Heyman is great storytelling.
Roman Reigns has like stepped up so much, man, and it's like
Hmm.
he has gotten so good, and with just his presence and his my shit don't stink attitude, and it's like you know that when he's there, some of the stuff he does is kind of corny, but
Hmm.
for the most part, his attitude and his demeanor when he comes out, he's like, I may not be the champ, but I'm the greatest thing in this fucking building. And I love that about him. Um,
All right, I could see it here. Check it out. Long term storytelling. We could spit that out there. Um, do you remember when Cena roasted Reigns in the ring
yes,
for bad
yes,
promo?
yes,
Do you think this is the ultimate build up back to that?
that would be great. That would be great. Um, I do think that in like the next year or so, Jacob Fatu is going to probably be the next big thing
Yeah,
because
that beast.
he's he is, dude, and I think he's going to be a face soon. I just because it's just he's just one of those people that people love, and I think he's going to be maybe not as big as Stone Cold, but remember how Stone Cold was hated, and then they
Mhm.
turned it that that
Well,
everyone loved him, and he
you see
still
that
was
you see
still.
that so far. Everybody like they try to make him so bad, but the fans don't give a shit.
Yeah, they just love him,
Not
and
in a
that
bad way, but they.
yeah, and that's what happened with the Road Warriors too. They hated the Road Warriors so much till they started loving the way they
Mhm.
came out and kicked everyone's ass. They started cheering for him, and that's what they're doing with Jacob. As soon as he comes out, they know that there's going to be some ass being kicked.
Yeah.
you know, and I think it's great, man. I think
How do you feel about
I
his
I,
promos?
I they're the realest ones. I think he makes you believe
Yeah.
that somebody's going to get their ass kicked. He's got that the street mentality, and he when he talks, dude, he's like one of those guys that yeah, you know how they always say you don't want to meet that guy in a dark
Yeah.
alley.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the cat you don't want to meet in a motherfucking bright ass alley.
Like I learned. So he has the attitude. Like he has the attitude of Mark Henry.
he's he's
The skills of Rey Mysterio, and then let's see here. Kind of just like I don't know, almost like Keith Lee is just the way he moves, but
and
just
the fact and
vicious all the way around.
my favorite part of the whole thing is everyone deserves a second chance, and
Hell
the
yeah.
fact the fact that this man that everyone was like, oh, his criminal record's going to do this, his fuck that. That man is excelling, and I think it's fucking amazing. I think it's awesome,
Ex-
dude.
Exactly.
I think it's great. I love it. I'm always cheering for that guy. Like, yes, look at this dude. He's doing his thing, and you can
Booker
see he's
T.
so happy, man. You can see he's so happy doing it. Like, it's great.
Booker
It's
T
great
was
to see.
Booker T was another one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And
Now,
he's the funniest commentator.
Ted DiBiase Jr. on the other hand, nope, he's stuck.
Yeah, he's a little stuck right now, but he wasn't as good as a wrestler either, though. Like
This is very true.
he was just blah.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, nothing impressive.
I I think that they could have did such a good storyline with that. Like they could have like had when they had who was it? It was Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, um, DiBiase and Manu. And I think that they could have, those guys could have been like the Four Horsemen, and Gold Dust could have been Dusty, you know. And I think they could have
Yeah.
rode that out for so long, man. But you know, everyone wants to be the top dog, man. Nobody wants to help.
No,
You
definitely
know,
not.
it's just, it's all about the dollars, man. It's all about the money.
Unfortunately.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well,
So
brother, we have passed the hour mark.
yes, sir.
It has been fucking real fun tonight. Well, real fun.
Yeah, real and real
Um,
fun
yeah, it'd
for
be
two
real fun.
hours.
Yeah. Shit.
So what are you
Well,
gonna do now? What's the rest of your night? Uh,
I, I think I'm gonna go downstairs and cook some dinner. I don't know about
yeah,
yet, but
I think I'm either gonna watch a movie or I'm going to catch up on Patrol because I missed it all weekend because of training and wrestling shows. So
on patrol, on patrol.
it's like live PD,
Yeah.
but they just switched the name, put it on a different TV station, and now it's called On Patrol, and it's on Fridays and Saturdays from 9 p.m. till 12 a.m. So,
Hmm.
and
All right.
boy, is it crazy.
Now, hold on, check it out. You got to go if you get the chance to download Tubi. It's a free app.
Uh-huh.
They have the Cops Reloaded channel. Now
Oh,
that's
yes, I
for the
watch.
Cops Uncensored. Oh, it's so fucking great.
Dude, there's nothing better because you could watch Reload It and think
Yeah.
how the laws have changed because the cops back then were so
Oh
shitty.
my God.
It was
It was
great, man. And we thought it was great then how shitty they were
yep.
compared to now. My favorite episode is where the lady is like she calls the cops and she's like she sold me fake crack.
Yep. Yeah. And the cop looked at her and said, "What?" And she goes, "Yes. I wanted to get some rock, and she gave me this. It looks like wall plaster." Like, and then the lady comes out of the house and is like, "I don't know what she's talking about." She said, "I don't sell no crack," but all of a sudden goes, "I'm a prostitute." Like, bruh, what
And then
the
she goes,
fuck?
then she's like, she kept coming up to me, so I gave her something that looked like crack.
Yeah. Oh, I
That's what
miss
I.
TV like that.
Well, On Patrol is like that. The people are fucking dumb. This one
Uh,
guy, it was so funny, Mark. I almost pissed my pants. This guy was fighting a female cop, and she tased this motherfucker so good. He goes, I promise I wasn't trying to take your gun. He goes, but it hurted it that I shitted it on myself. Oh my god. And this guy is on live TV saying that he shit himself because of a taser.
oh,
And yeah,
fucking
he
crazy.
it's so funny, man. People do the craziest shit. So
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
man. That's one of those things I like to watch. I ain't gonna lie, guilty pleasure.
me
Laying in
too.
bed, falling asleep. I like finding the TikToks or the YouTube videos where people are getting tased just because.
Oh my
Why
god.
not? It's fucking great. You're gonna run, they
My
stiffen up. It's kind of
my
like
my,
it looks like a salmon sliding.
my new guilty pleasure is morbid facts.
Yeah.
Just the way the guy goes. Morbid facts number 142.
You see the one where it's like morbid history, where they show you like all the old shit that could have killed you back in like the 1920s.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Oh man! Like, all right, so he showed this one of like this fire extinguisher from like the 1920s, or even
Yeah.
older than that. It looks like a glass light bulb. And growing up, we had one on our third floor, and I'd take this
Oh,
motherfucker
that
out.
you throw.
Yeah, I take this motherfucker out and flip it around. Oh, it looks like water. No, there's some certain chemical in there that's like straight lethal. I was like, what the fuck, man?
But it was in our house.
Yes. Yes.
So
You're
funny,
like, oh,
man.
this is a nifty idea. All you gotta do is just fucking throw it. Nah, it's something like strychnine in it or some shit. Fucking horrible.
Crazy, man.
Yeah,
Crazy.
man. All right, man. We are
All right,
past our
bro.
hour mark. So, like I always say, stay thirsty for life. And this is myself, Mark, and this is Mr. Rob Noxious here. And remember, if you need any help, call the crisis line 988. You can text it. That is 988. And it's better getting any kind of help you can, and that one there is free. So,
Absolutely.
cheers.
See ya.